time. Now, we were going to start this live out, asking what, Dylan Mortensen knew. What does she really know that we're not being apprised of? We're being blocked out of because of Bryan Kohberger's need of a fair trial. It is crazy that we've had all these trials, all these big, huge trials across this country, some much larger than Bryan Kohberger's. Right now, he's a high-profile case. This is a high-profile case. This is a hot topic of conversation. But it's not the most famous case in the world. And even the most famous case in the world didn't have a gag order on it like this. This judge is wrong. She's a female, so she's going to fight with it because women, when we think we're right, we're right. She's wrong. What she's done is wrong. And she could, correct her error, or the Supreme Court will do it for her. And I can tell her personally, and she already knows this, you would rather adjust your ruling than having a higher court wag their finger at you. Having a higher court overturn your ruling is one of the most embarrassing things, in my opinion, a judge can have done. So in my humble opinion, this judge, which I believe is a great judge, she needs to realize that there is the need of the public. What she's doing to the people in and around this case is unconstitutionally wrong. So she needs to adjust and amend her gag order. And I would behoove her to do it before this goes to the Supreme Court. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's all these little, things that are dwindling away. A lot of people don't realize this. And I talk about it all the time on here. The whole thing about setting precedent, right? Precedent. You hear me about talking about precedent. And I always talk about that because, our Google attorneys, the people that don't understand the law, many of you guys do it. And it's not disrespectful to you guys, but what I'm trying to say is when you go and Google a Florida statute or to find something, there's case law that dictates that. So when you're reading that, you are thinking it goes one way. But when you look how the courts have ruled on it in the past, you realize that what you're reading contradicts what you're thinking. So that precedent is very important. That case law is very important. So I hate it when anybody has to take this stuff to like the state Supreme Court, because now you're setting new precedent. And I hate new precedents. What happens is you have somebody in the 2nd DCA, District Court of Appeals, and you have somebody in the 4th District Court of Appeals, and you have conflicting orders, conflicting rulings in the same state. So that's where it creates this cloud. The people above this lawyer, they're appealing this decision. They're going to the courts above her to get an order to reverse her court order below. And that's going to set precedent from this point forward. That means the next time they really need a gag order, they're going to be easily overturned on that gag order because now they have the Supreme Court in that DCA already ruling on the very facts. And it's going to cause problems in the future. So in an effort to stop that, the judge should just modify her order to be compliant with the Constitution of her state and the United States, and make it, lessen it, make it where it's not, hindering people's abilities to the freedom of speech, but also not being unduly burdensome and being overly broad. You can't just any and all people. You can't do that. So she can probably gag order the witnesses and the prosecutor and the defendant and the defense, but and that's got to be, you need to use that gag order power with prudence. And I just feel like she just went over and above what she had authority to do. So I really do hope that the 30 news organizations, that is very powerful going into an appeal process. Having 30 news organizations, that means that they are, those 30 news organizations are funding this, because to be honest with you, she's costing these news organizations millions of dollars with this gag orders, millions of dollars. She's only costing me thousands, right? But she's costing these news organizations literally millions of dollars by withholding this. This is now starting to hit their pocketbook. This is a major case and people want to know what's going on. And she is literally shackling the entire United States from speaking about it. That is unconstitutional. That is literally the most unconstitutional thing you can do. And it worries me about her ability to handle this case moving forward because of this very specific issue. You can't protect one's rights by violating somebody else's rights. That's not how it works.